I fell in love. Not words you typically associate with international diplomacy. Yet that's how former President Donald Trump described his relationship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. This unusual approach to foreign policy, marked by a focus on personal relationships rather than traditional diplomatic protocols, has become a hallmark of the Trump era. From handshakes to hugs, Trump's interactions with world leaders often resemble a reality TV show more than a staged summit. But beneath the spectacle lies a calculated strategy. Trump, the businessman turned politician, approaches foreign policy like a series of high-stakes deals. As I've argued before, Trump sees the world as a giant negotiating table where personal chemistry and the promise of mutual benefit trump, no pun intended, long-standing alliances or ideological differences. This transactional approach, while unconventional, has yielded both successes and failures on the world stage. The question now is, with a potential return to the Oval Office, will Trump's brand of personal diplomacy once again reshape the global landscape? Few relationships embody the highs and lows of Trump's diplomatic style better than his interactions with Kim Jong-un. From fiery threats of fire and fury to declarations of love, the Trump-Kim saga was nothing short of a roller coaster ride. The world watched with bated breath as the two leaders met for historic summits in Singapore and Hanoi. The hope was that Trump's personal touch could achieve what decades of traditional diplomacy could not, the denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. However, the summits ultimately ended in stalemate, with North Korea unwilling to relinquish its nuclear arsenal. Experts believe that Kim, despite the warm rhetoric, never intended to make a deal, using the summits to buy time and legitimize his regime on the world stage. The question now is whether a new Trump administration would try to rekindle the relationship with Kim, or take a more hardline approach. With North Korea's nuclear capabilities growing by the day, the stakes are higher than ever. Another key relationship that defined Trump's foreign policy was his close bond with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, often referred to as MBS. Trump made Saudi Arabia his first foreign trip as president, a testament to the importance he placed on the US-Saudi alliance. The two leaders, both known for their brash style and disdain for traditional norms, seemed to hit it off immediately. Trump praised MBS as a reformer and a key ally in the fight against terrorism, even overlooking the brutal war in Yemen and Saudi Arabia's dismal human rights record. However, the relationship was tested by the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. US intelligence agencies concluded that MBS likely ordered the killing, putting Trump in a difficult position. Despite mounting pressure to hold Saudi Arabia accountable, Trump stood by MBS, prioritizing the strategic and economic importance of the US-Saudi relationship over human rights concerns. This decision drew widespread criticism and raised concerns about Trump's willingness to overlook egregious behavior from his allies. Section 4: Putin on the line. Can Trump broker peace? Perhaps no relationship has been more scrutinized than Trump's interactions with Russian President Vladimir Putin. From their first meeting at the G20 summit in Hamburg to their infamous Helsinki press conference, the Trump-Putin dynamic has been a source of endless speculation and controversy. Trump has repeatedly expressed admiration for Putin, praising his strength and leadership. He has also downplayed Russia's interference in the 2016 election, contradicting the findings of his own intelligence agencies. These actions have fueled accusations that Trump is beholden to Putin and willing to prioritize Russian interests over those of the United States. However, Trump has also taken a tougher stance on Russia at times, imposing sanctions and expelling diplomats. He has also authorized lethal aid to Ukraine, which is locked in a conflict with Russian-backed separatists. These seemingly contradictory actions have made it difficult to pin down Trump's true feelings towards Putin and Russia. With the war in Ukraine raging on, the question of how a new Trump administration would handle relations with Russia looms large. Would Trump try to broker a peace deal, as he has suggested? Or would he continue to cozy up to Putin, further alienating America's European allies? Section 5: A global gaggle of friends and foes. Beyond these key relationships, Trump's foreign policy has been marked by a series of encounters with a diverse cast of world leaders, from strongmen like Turkey's Recep Tayyip Erdogan and the Philippines' Rodrigo Duterte to more traditional allies like France's Emmanuel Macron and Germany's Angela Merkel. Trump has navigated the global stage with his signature blend of charm, bluster, and unpredictability. Some leaders, like India's Narendra Modi and Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu, have found common ground with Trump, forging close personal bonds that have translated into closer diplomatic ties. Others, like Canada's Justin Trudeau and Mexico's Enrique Pena Nieto, have clashed with Trump over trade and other issues, leading to strained relations. Throughout it all, Trump has remained true to his transactional approach, prioritizing what he sees as America's interests above all else. This has led to a foreign policy that is often unpredictable and at times chaotic, but also one that has challenged long-held assumptions and upended traditional alliances. Section 6. Bibi and the Donald and Enduring Alliance. No world leader enjoyed a closer relationship with Donald Trump than Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The two men, both known for their hawkish views and populist appeal, forged a bond that reshaped the Middle East landscape. Trump's unwavering support for Israel was evident in his decision to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, recognize Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, and withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal. These moves, while praised by Netanyahu and his supporters, alienated the Palestinians and drew criticism from the international community. The Trump-Netanyahu alliance also had a profound impact on the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. Trump's peace plan, unveiled in 2020, was widely seen as biased towards Israel and rejected by the Palestinians. The plan's failure to address key Palestinian demands, such as a viable independent state and an end to Israeli settlements, further dimmed prospects for peace. With Netanyahu back in power and Trump potentially returning to the White House, the future of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains uncertain. Will the two leaders continue to pursue a hardline approach, further entrenching the status quo, or will they surprise the world and find a way to break the decades-long impasse? Section 7. The world, according to Trump, what happens next? As Donald Trump eyes a return to the White House, the world is watching with a mixture of anticipation and apprehension. His unconventional approach to foreign policy, driven by personal relationships and a transactional mindset, has left an indelible mark on the global stage. From North Korea to Saudi Arabia, from Russia to Israel, Trump's relationships with world leaders have shaped the contours of global affairs. His willingness to challenge long-held norms and upend traditional alliances has created both opportunities and risks for the United States. The question now is, what will a second Trump presidency mean for the world? Will he continue to prioritize personal relationships over traditional diplomacy? Will he double down on his transactional approach, seeking to strike deals with adversaries and allies alike? Or will he adopt a more measured and predictable foreign policy? Only time will tell how Trump will navigate the complexities of the global stage if given another chance. But one thing is certain, the world will be watching closely.